everybody. Welcome to session 5. And today I'm going to start us off with a little reading from an author named Mark Stevens. He wrote this book, Yoga Sequencing, and it's a fun book. It's a thick book, but it's a fun book if you're interested in how asanas are sequenced, or how class is sequenced. Oops, sorry about that. Touched my mic. And there's also a box set of cards that can be fun to do a visual kind of planning if that's something you're interested in. So you could do your grounding breathing while I'm reading if you haven't done that already. All right? So considering yoga in the broadest sense as a practice of awakening and integration, the prescriptions range from what do to across the span of many lifetimes to how to order a specific session. I think there's a word missing in that sentence. Focusing on yoga across the span of one's life in this world, we find in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras 4 levels of yogic evolution in practices that are designed to, quote, control the mind, as you know, the citta vritti naroda, or, quote, to calm the fluctuations of the mind, and open one to bliss. Predating the development of Hatha yoga, yoga that involves doing multiple asanas and pranayamas, which is what we're doing in these sessions, Patanjali offers a step-by-step process for these practices, with variations offered that make the practices more accessible to different temperaments and conditions. He continues a little bit further down. At the time Patanjali wrote, around 200 CE is his quote here, asana was the practice of sitting, literally to take one seat, which we've talked about. And all that Patanjali added to this definition were the essential asana qualities of steadiness and ease. And as you may recall, one of the other quotes that I read you, which I think was an Iyengar quote, he had pointed out that same thing about steadiness and ease. So it's a recurring theme that different people are pulling out for you to consider. So today, we're going to start in a releasing position, because this session of 5, you are looking at the concept of parigraha and non-grasping. So I'm going to invite you to start here in Balasana with your palms upward. And if you haven't tuned that breath, here's a great time to begin to notice the rhythm. So at the end of each series, when we do come to downward dog, this is always an option today. You could pause the video and really take a deep pause with yourself, turning your palms up, letting go of whatever it is you may be holding on to right now. Beautiful. And then we're going to just start with a slow Surya Namaskar. So coming to the front of our mat. This time we're going to do an inhale, arms up, gaze up, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, again, you choose where the hands stop, anywhere between the floor or the top of the foot and the knee. Exhale, we're going to do that 3 times in Ardha Uttanasana. And then we're going to step back into downward dog. Now, just a reminder, there are a couple options here. The bending of the knees, swaying of the hips, whatever is the best, serves you best here. Inhale forward into a plank. Again, you could do knees drop first, and then come down, roll the shoulder blades a couple times, coming up into a little cobra, Bhujangasana, and then exhale back into downward dog. Let's go ahead and do that one more time. So I'm kidding, 2 more times here. So again, the other option, if you are going to do full body, is that your pelvis is not the first thing to touch the ground, okay? It's all together. So the chest is kind of leading the way, and then everything releases. This time I'm going to do Urdhva Mukha Shavasana. One more time, whatever choice is yours. Or you could just go right into that Balasana, child's pose with the palms up, if that's what you need. And then walking the feet towards the hands. And then rolling all the way up. We're going to take the arms to the sky, opposite hand grabs opposite elbow, and just taking a gentle stretch here. And release, switching sides. Good, and then release. And after I do that, I always like to do a couple shoulder rolls. So options here for the next series: palms facing down together, palms facing together, up or low, whatever works. Okay. Take that right foot forward, left foot back just ever so slightly, and then we're just going to bend back right from the hip socket. Good. And then on an exhale, we're going to come all the way over and take a forward fold. And you may need a block. Sorry, I should have reminded you to have a block. Either your hand can go to the ground or a block. So the hands release. One hand comes to the inside of that front foot. The other one here. Take a twist on an exhale. And then from here, we're going to take Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. So we're going to switch the hand that's up to the block. It's going to come out in front of the foot, slightly out of the range of the foot, and then the back leg kicks up. Arm goes up here. And then release the foot. Release the hands. Take a nice hang here. You could step back and do a flow through if you would like. You could rest in child's pose, or you can hang for a moment. You choose. Good. Inhale, come all the way up. Hands come in front. And then hands come behind. Whichever position provides for you a nice stretch. Left foot comes forward this time. Leaning back. Leaning forward. So remember, reaching out through the top of the head as we bend straight at the hip. Try not to round the back. It's a challenge. Hand comes to the block, taking a twist. Good. Hand in the air comes to the block. The block moves to the outer edge and slightly forward. The other leg goes up. Hand goes up. Sorry, I'm coming off the video here. Release that upper foot down. This time, when we hang, grab opposite elbows here. So it brings a little bit more weightiness. Everybody hang this time, please. Remember to keep the knees slightly bent. Good. On an exhale, as slow as you can go. Head is the very, very last thing to come all the way up. Just kind of imagine the vertebrae stacking on top of themselves. Head hangs heavy, arms hang heavy until the very top. All right, now we're going to just take a moment if you need to, in case your head's a little lightheaded like I am. we're going to do a little core workout here. So remember in the session where we put our hands against the wall and we draw our shoulder blades onto our back? So this is going to have that same kind of engagement. Now for some people this will be really, really challenging, and what you can do is just do downward dog to plank, downward dog to plank. But this is another way to do it that's a little bit harder, and you got to really focus even more on the shoulders, is you're going to come flat with your hands here, trying to keep engaged, and then you'll come here, and then you'll come forward into a plank, and then you'll press back into downward dog. So go ahead, either one, that or downward dog to plank, 5 times, 3 to 5 times, whatever you can do. So go ahead and do that. And then once you complete, grabbing whatever it is you need when you sit, we're going to extend one leg out, one leg in, turning our heart towards that leg, and take an exhale to forward fold here. Inhaling up, switch sides. Now this next one, we're going to do a series. We did part of the series before, where we come into down dog, we kick the leg up, we bend the knee, and we open it to the side, kind of dropping the heel over. But this time, if you feel comfortable, we're going to do the same series, and then at the last part, you're going to flip all the way over, okay? Into downward, into a wild thing. So I don't know if there's really a proper Sanskrit name for that, so I just call it all right, so we're going to come into down dog. At any point, if it becomes too much beyond where your body is right now, you can just come down into that child's pose with the hand palms up. So first we elevate leg, and then we bend the knee, opening up, and then you can drop all the way over and open up into a back bend. And then try to come back as gracefully as you can. Kicking back up and coming down. Take a break in between if you need to. Coming down into child's pose. Palms up. And then when you're ready, you can pause if you need more time. Other side. I take about 3 to 5 breaths in each position. For me, it isn't about the final one, it's about each part. It's the journey. Beautiful. And then take that break for a moment if you need it. If you don't really need that break, you can go right into your squat. Letting everything settle in here for a moment. Extend one leg out, hug the other leg in. So you could keep this leg out, or you could tuck it in, drawing this foot. So it's either here, foot over, or here and foot over. Hug that knee into that opposite armpit as you exhale and twist. If you want to go deeper, you could try to bring the arm to the outside as long as the shoulder, sorry again, hit the mic, shoulder doesn't rise way up. You want to keep the shoulder down. flush on the back. Final move, if it's possible. Like you may have remembered, on one side it's possible for me, one side it's not, because I have more tension and patterns in that other side. The hand can go through the hole to the other side. The other hand comes around and they meet behind. So you just have to make sure that you're not endangering the muscles of the leg or the muscles of the shoulder. Chin is parallel, gaze is forward. Good, and then releasing. Maybe giving the knees a hug in between. And then switching sides. So either here or here. Hugging the knee in first. Exhale, twisting, drawing that knee to the opposite armpit. Elbow comes to the outside if that's right for you, making sure that the shoulder isn't doing the creep. After a few breaths, if you can do the hand through the hole, grab around the back side, you can do that. And then gently release. Again, let's give it a hug. Again, if you can, this time, rest your head on your knees. If your head can't quite reach your knees, just place your arms on top of your knees and let your head rest there. And then we're going to do something fun. If you're on a pretty hard surface, or you have a pretty intense tightness in your back, you might want to lay a blanket down. I'm just adjusting my little microphone thing here so I don't roll on it. And we're going to do some rolls. So doing these rolls helps you practice for getting into shoulder stand as well. So you're just going to be holding on. I like to hold on behind my thighs. Some people like to hold in close, but I like to hold here. And I'm just rolling back and forth. I should probably lay a blanket down, but for the sake of time, so maybe one more of those. Good. And then letting that go. So for this posture, you can still have your pillow or blanket, but we're going to also grab a block. And this time, when we do Baddha Konasana, which is bottoms of the feet together, we're going to elevate the feet, okay? So bringing the feet together on top of the block, sitting up nice and tall. Bring the hands behind first to draw the shoulder blades onto the back. Nice deep engagement. And then when you feel ready, keeping that engagement, folding forward here. Now, if your knees are not somewhere in the range of your hips, mine are just a little bit high, I should probably elevate a little bit more. I don't have another pillow here, but you want to make sure that, again, those knees and hips are aligned before you take that fold. Heart leads the way, reaching out through the top of the head, feeling the length through the spine, through the side of the body. This is also a great yin posture. You could put something right here, turn the video off, pause the video, and sit in this for just a bit. You'll feel some things, get a good stretch. Good, and then inhale, come all the way up, and find your way into Shavasana. So finding your way onto your back. as you find your way in, tucking your shoulder blades under your back, closing your eyes or softening your gaze. Arms at the side at whatever distance is comfortable, turning the palms up today if you can. And softening the jaw, softening the tongue. Maybe feeling a softness come around the edges of the eyes. If you're bringing your attention to your breath, see if you can have the exhale be a little bit longer than the inhale. Just a reminder, you can always pause this video, set a timer for yourself. So as we do small movements to bring ourselves out. And eventually those movements bring us to lying on our side, where we pause for a moment. And in this practice, this series, we consider as we lie on our side, what is new to learn from and about my body? What has my practice today taught me about myself? And then using your hands to gently draw you into a seated position, eyes closed, or in a soft focus, your choice. Thank you for coming. And thank you for hanging in with us through these first 5 sessions. And we'll see you in the next one.